Hey, what is going on? Shane Brooks here, and I'm recording this very quick video for a good friend of mine, Jonathan Osvier, and all of his community members. And in today's presentation, we're going to cover the 5-step guide for content marketing on LinkedIn in 2019. I have a special gift for you probably will not receive anywhere else, so make sure to stay tuned. We're going to be talking about how to build your brand and fill your funnel. So let's jump right into this. So the little background on myself and my business partner, we've ran a local agency for the past 15 years, working with big clients like Walmart, Citgo, Brinks, DreamWorks, tons of massive clients, all the way down to small local businesses like gyms, chiropractors, physical therapists, even massage therapists. We sold massive projects like a $1.2 million web project, and we've created some of the top tools in the SEO space like 1 Hour Backlinks, Linklicious, and more, and we've acquired over 70,000 customers online. Now we work specifically with individuals that want to build an online agency selling services to local businesses and looking to scale that to over 6 figures and refining their processes from sales to operation and fulfillment. And let's go ahead and keep going here. So the 5 steps that we're going to be covering today, here's a basic overview. Number 1, defining your target. Who is it that you want to speak to? Number 2 is choosing your direction. Once you have your target, we could go a million different ways, but we want to really narrow in on one so that we can double down on it. From there, we want to start creating content and building our brand. That's where our brand really comes from, is the quality of content that we produce. Number 4 is going to be automating as much as we can, and I'm going to give you free access, no strings attached, to Content Hero, which is a social automation tool so that you can syndicate all your content across all your platforms. And if you're like me and all of our students that manage clients with their agency, you're also going to be able to do that with Content Hero. Like I said, no strings attached. So normally you would have to pay $100 up to $300 for software that we're going to provide, and we're going to do it for free. All right, and then finally, we're going to fill your funnel, and we're going to talk about some strategies to do that. So number 1, defining your target. The first thing that we should discuss is, how does LinkedIn compare to other social platforms? Well, it's probably good to mention that most of the people that are on LinkedIn are going to be business-minded people. You know, it's not like Facebook where you want to share content that's more viral, that will get as much engagement as possible. LinkedIn, you want to be more specific into your industry and who it is that you're trying to target. So that leads us into, what is it that you're trying to accomplish with LinkedIn and your brand? Are you trying to generate more leads for your business? Are you trying to increase brand awareness? Are you trying to promote your products or services, connect with your ideal customers and clients, or even build a community around your brand? Now, once we really know what it is that we're trying to accomplish, then we'll start talking about who is it that we're trying to talk to. So there's really 4 things that we should be looking at when developing our customer avatar. Demographics like age, sex, location, characteristics like interests, hobbies, and influences, objections, concerns, challenges, and finally what they're hoping to gain, which is going to be results, outcomes, and desires. So think about it this way. You should be able to picture your customer avatar so clearly, like they're sitting in front of you, and you're able to listen to all of these things that they're speaking about. So get very clear about who your end customer is before you start going into the other steps. Because if you don't, it's going to end up costing you a lot of time and a lot of money. I know, because I made those mistakes in the beginning, especially with my agency and some of our software that we created. You need to be specific about who you're talking to, because people want to see a specialist, not a generalist. They want to see that somebody is there to help their specific needs, not somebody that, generally works with a lot of people, right? Because you don't seem as valuable. So it's very important that you narrow that down. Now, number 2, choosing your direction. From here, we want to decide what type of content are we going to produce. And I would suggest doing almost all of this content, but things like how-to content, things like opinion pieces, industry news. I love industry news because you can just go share somebody else's article, especially if they're in your network, and you're almost leveraging their authority, and you're kind of giving them, a pat on the back and saying how much you love their content. sharing achievements, events, announcements, life and business lessons, knowledge and skills, mindset, leadership, strategies and tactics, productivity, and even soft skills. So I would definitely be producing content that narrows in on each one of these. That way you have tons of different pieces going out every single day. Now, the next thing you need to decide is where are you going to distribute this content? Is it going to be on your personal profile? Is it going to be on a company page? Or is it going to be in a LinkedIn group? Once you know that information, then we can move on. From there, we're going to talk about what type of content are you trying to publish? Articles, text and photo posts, a video post, or even shared links. Now, a good suggestion is to maintain a good content ratio of about 10 to 20% promotional and 80 to 90% high quality content. Don't be that guy that's always trying to sell people, because you're gonna see that your engagement starts to go up and then nobody watches it anymore because you're always that sleazy guy trying to sell stuff. And create a content mix of native content types with a focus on videos. That way the algorithm won't wreak havoc on your marketing. So you just need to think about what is it that your target avatar is going to engage with most, and then start to develop content that will engage with those individuals. All right, so let's go ahead and keep going here. Now, kind of the sweet spot is to think about content that your audience likes, content that you can create realistically, and content that allows you to qualify your audience. And we want to try to find content right in the sweet spot of that, so that way we can engage and grow our brand. Now, from here, I wanted to also put, based on our research, the best times that you should be posting. So Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday see the highest traffic. Monday and Friday see the lowest. The most active hours are from 7 to 8 a.m., noon, and 5 to 6 p.m. And the peak time is around 5 to 6 p.m. in the middle of the week. All right, so from here, we're going to start discussing how to create your content. And this is going to be a big one. So I was actually just working with a local client. He owns a fitness company, and that's a great industry to be producing content around, because there's a million exercises out there. There's a million questions, and there's so much pseudoscience, bro science out there that, people get suckered into. I was one of the people, because I ran a local gym for about 8 years. I've done over 10,000 personal training sessions in my amount of time that I've been doing PT. And on top of that, even still have clients to this day just because I love it. Now I work more with people with injuries or people that are athletes. Like, I just got a D1 football player recently, and he's actually gone from a 48 waist size to a 44 in 1 month. So that's pretty cool. But anyway, let me get back to this. So essentially what we want to do is we want to create a system around how we create content, because it's difficult. It can be super time consuming. So what I suggested to my client, as well as suggesting to you guys, is simply open up a Google Slides account or a project, and then start stacking all of the different titles that you would like to create content around. And I would suggest doing maybe 30, 40, 50 titles. Now, after you create the titles, then I would go back and start adding around 3 to 5 bullets of info that you would like to cover in the video. And then once you have all those bullets done, then what we're going to do is we're going to start scheduling a day once per week where nothing is done other than filming content. So I'll give you an example. Every Sunday and Tuesday for me is content producing day. Nobody can book time with me during those spots, because the only objective I have is to produce content. And instead of, having that day and then spending 4 hours trying to think about what I'm going to do, I simply go over to my Google Slides and I look through the list. And just like you saw in this previous one, let me go back. You can see all of these have been marked as done. Why it's important to over deliver, why to laser focus on one niche, how to use your network to make sales. So all of these videos are already completed, because now I have a really refined system to get it done. So I would highly suggest that you do this as well. From here, something that most people get stuck with, especially when you first start out, is trying to do everything. Oh, I need to learn video editing. I need to learn how to be a good writer. I need to learn graphic design. I need to spend all the time scheduling content. Listen, at the end of the day, you need to understand that your ability as a business owner to delegate work is what's going to help you scale. Show me a CEO, a successful one, that says, I'm going to do it all. and I'm never going to utilize anyone else. You're not going to find one. You're going to find CEOs that are very hardworking, but anybody that thinks they can do it all is very closed-minded and will not get very far. So your ability to build your team is going to be your success path. So utilizing sites like Upwork, Fiverr, People Per Hour, Freelancer, genm.co, which is actually for people that are trying to build a resume. You can actually get free work on there. But go and find people that are cheap. I have a video editor that I'll send him videos and he'll edit each video for only $5, which is crazy. So make sure to utilize people that are excelling at those skills that you're not good at or consume a ton of time. That way you can just crank these out like clockwork and start to focus on what really matters, which is putting out content, engaging with your audience, and starting to fill your funnel, which we're going to talk about here in a second. So outsource things like video editing, article editing, or even article writing. I hate writing, so maybe article writing would be something that you want to outsource. Graphic design is another one, and then content scheduling. So from here, what I want to suggest is that you repurpose everything that you do. So as an example, let's say that we film a video all about how to get better at sales. And in that video, maybe it's 5 to 8 minutes long with some basic tactics that people can follow. What we want to then do is take that video and transcribe it into an article, format it with a virtual assistant, and now we have an article. We have a video, we have an article, and then grab some quotes or some key pieces of info and then turn those into images that you can share on social media. So now one single piece of content has turned into multiple layers of content without having to work extra hard. All right, so I'd highly suggest you doing that. From here, let's go ahead and talk about how to produce this content, because I don't see too many people talking about this, and I think it's really important. So the first thing that you need to remember is, even though you might have a great video, if the audio is bad, no one will listen. All right, so audio is king. So make sure that you have a good microphone or a good lavalier mic. And so what I would suggest is use Purple Panda. It's like $30. You can plug it into your cell phone or your DSLR if you have one. And then if you're going to be doing desktop recordings like I'm doing here, then get something like the Blue Yeti. Now the Blue Yeti can range from like $100 up to $150, depends on what model you get and what deal you find. But I find it's pretty good, and that's what I'm using right here. I got this for $100 at GameStop. They had a discount. I was like, because I use and abuse this thing. And I had one that broke, and I went and found one for $100 at a GameStop, and now I have a cheap Blue Yeti that I'm using almost every day. From here, we need to make sure that we have good lighting. Nothing is worse than very grainy looking video that you can barely see and it's all shadowy. We don't want that. So what I would suggest is just go get a ring light from Amazon. Here's the brand Newer. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. But it's around $50. So here's an example of it over here. And then after we have our audio, we have our lighting, then what I would suggest is, utilizing something that's going to be cheap for video. Something like a webcam, like a Logitech C920. It's only like $60 on Amazon. Or you can use a software called OBS, which is free, that you can go find. Typically, Twitch streamers, people playing video games use it. So it's a great software. It's free. It's like the best. I use it all the time. From there, then I would suggest using your cell phone. So if you don't have a webcam, you're like, man, I want to crank out great videos. If you have a cell phone that's like, from 2016, 17, you're going to have a good enough video to record content. It just needs to be 1080p. And as long as you have good lighting, it's going to look good. It's amazing when you have good lighting how much better your video gets, especially with good audio. All right, so make sure to utilize these things, and it's cheap because you're investing into your brand. This might be like $200, but if you plan on really doubling down on this, best investment you could ever make. All right, so from here, let's talk about some more complex strategies to creating high quality articles. Now, obviously there's so much to this. I'll try to keep it very surface layer, but what I would suggest is take a screenshot of the perfect blog post over here, and then I'll kind of stack some things that I think are really important. So the first thing you want to do is you want to research what articles are already out there in the subject that you want to talk about. and then write down the URLs, and then try to figure out how can you make your article 10 times better. Maybe they were talking about how to do a squat. I'm just going to talk about something that I know. So maybe they're talking about how to do a squat, but they don't really talk about, improving mobility in the hips and the ankles so that you can achieve depth and get better leverage. So maybe these are things that they don't talk about, so I can make my article talk about those things and make the content even better. From there, you want to list out all of your main keywords. There's tons of different keyword tools out there, but really it just comes down to, listing the ones that you think are going to bring the most traffic, that have the lowest competition. You'll find a bunch of different ways to find these keywords. Just go do some searches on YouTube. Way too complex for me to cover in this video. But from here, and let me also mention that keywords are kind of the most important thing when it comes to, SEO results with your blog post. But it also comes down to the quality of your content. So, if I'm going to write how to improve your mobility and get a better squat, then I'm just going to make sure that my content reinforces a super high quality article around those keywords, and eventually over time I'll get even more traffic. From there, what we want to do is we want to stack headlines. So maybe if I'm writing an article about a squat, I have the overall headline, and then I talk about mobility, I talk about maybe stability, how to achieve good depth and be able to stabilize that position when under load. And then finally, being able to add another kind of subtopic or headline in there, which would be something like how to improve your power over the course of 3 months by doing these drills. Okay, so now I have my headlines. And once you have your headlines, then you go back and you just fill in maybe a paragraph or two, and that's going to help you write big articles very fast. So instead of trying to just write from start to finish, start with the headlines and then fill in the gaps. And what I would suggest is trying to utilize examples and stories so that way you don't have to feel like you're writing a ton. When you tell a story or you give it examples, now you already have a bunch of content that you're filling in. From there, you want to provide a strong call to action to whatever it is that you're trying to promote or sell. Maybe it's just a value post, you don't have a call to action, but I would always suggest having a call to action in there, whether it's getting onto an email list or getting some free lead magnet or whatever, booking a call with you. Now, what I would suggest doing is always shoot for 1,500 words or more. And the reason is there's so many articles out there that are like 500 words, and Google really wants to see that not only do you have a lot of content that's extremely valuable, but you want to make sure that's formatted in a good way. You don't want it to be 1,500 words that are all grouped together and it's hard to read. So make sure that it's 1,500 words written in a format like you see over here on the right side. And then from there, I would always suggest using Grammarly. Now, Grammarly is a free tool, so you'll want to copy and paste your article into Grammarly and make sure there's no spelling mistakes because you don't want yourself to look unprofessional, and it's really easy to use and it's free. So hopefully that was easy to understand and it's not too complex. From there, let's talk about text and photo posts. So what we want to do is we want to utilize compelling images that reinforce whatever the title is going to be. So for example, take a photo with yourself. So how do we come up with those images? You can use your cell phone, which I typically do. And if you're like, oh man, I'm not the best at taking photos, literally just go to YouTube, type in mobile phone photography, and you'll find a guy in India that produced a couple videos on different principles with photography, like the rule of thirds and like a frame within a frame. It's like gold. I actually give this video to all of my clients because it's amazing by using just simple principles how much better the photos look and they're more appealing to the eye. Plus, they're actually designed by you. That's the best type of content is somebody that, a piece of content that you developed, not is some stock photo. But if you have to use stock photography, then I would use something like Envato, which is a paid membership. This is more so if you're going to be doing promotional content. So if you do promotional content, you'll want to make sure that you're paying for the images that you're using if they're not yours. If it's just going to be, free content that is something that you're not selling, then using something like a free stock website like Pexels or one of the others out there will be a good option for you. Now, once you have your image, we'll then want to utilize basic design with photo editing and design software. So Pixlr, I think that's how you pronounce it. is really good for like changing composure and lighting and different, effects that you want your image to look like. But you can also just hire this out, like I said, if this is a big part of your business. And then from there, utilizing Canva, which I use all the time. It is like the bee's knees. I love this thing. So it's free, and it will help you add different text and formatting to your images so that they're very appealing to the eye. From there, you'll want to use a strong message that will get as many likes, comments, and shares as possible, because that's what it's all about. Really, what you're trying to do is you're trying to create something that you're like, oh man, this is going to get so many likes and shares, because you want engagement. That is what your business is going to be built around, is building a brand that people want to follow. And that's what we talked about earlier. Only 10 to 20% should be promotional, and the rest should be just high quality content. All right, so from there, we have shared link posts. Now, you could do recent news in your industry, viral topics for discussion, like, hey, did you see this? What do you guys think about it? Maybe it's like an update with Google My Business or something in your industry. And then also posts from your network. Now, in the previous slides, I showed like a bunch of different like topics that you can write content around, so I'd follow those as well. But one of the things that you could do is share industry-related news, like 7 ways to scale Facebook ads, and then adding some feedback about that. Are you running Facebook ads for your business currently? Check out number 5 on this list. This simple change had a huge difference in our campaigns, right? Now from there, what I also suggest doing is building your network, going out there, reaching out to different people that you want to have on your profile for LinkedIn, and then being able to share anytime they release something cool about themselves. So I have a new connection in my Facebook community that just started his own agency. Is one of our students actually. Started his own agency, and I wanted to do a huge shout out for him. So that way, I could share it with everybody. And so I'll read it right here. Just want to do a big shout out for a new connection of mine that has officially launched their digital agency specializing in working with United States veteran business owners. Awesome work, so on and so on. What I love about this guy is he has a real story. He was wounded in Afghanistan, and when he got back, he became a developer, and he really wanted to help veteran business owners like himself build a business online or, grow their local businesses that they may have. And he's a very skilled, very intelligent guy. And so that's what he's empowered by. So something else that I think would be worthy of adding is, whatever industry it is that you choose to go in, make sure that you are tying your story, what makes you special, in with your target audience, just like Trenton did here. So from here, we're going to talk about automating with Content Hero. So the first thing that I would mention are you tired of paying for super expensive software like myself? You got Buffer out there, you got Hootsuite. All those tools are fantastic, but they're also very expensive. So we're going to provide you with Content Hero for free, no strings attached. There's no payment, installed with this. Like, we're going to give you a straight up hooked up account so that you can do everything you need to do. So here's what's going to be included with this. I'm not trying to sell you anything. That's the coolest part about this, is just straight value. Hopefully you guys are loving this. But get access to Content Hero to add up to 5 websites and 25 social accounts. And then you're going to be able to manage client posting workflows. So you can do this for clients, or you can do this for your own business. And content scheduling to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. There's LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, Buffer, Google My Business, WordPress, Medium, Tumblr, and Shopify. So instead of just posting to LinkedIn, what I would do is, if you're going to work really hard to develop a single piece of content, make sure that you're shooting it out like a shotgun across all the other platforms as well, to bring in that traffic to whatever it is that you're trying to bring it to, like your website or a landing page. From there, you're going to be able to curate from over 3,000 websites in our massive database that literally just keeps growing each day. And you're going to also have powerful integrations to save time, like link shortening, content spinning, and even Pocket. Now, if you want a free account, all you have to do is email our support desk at support@beahero.agency to get your free account. But let's go ahead and we're going to jump into a quick demo so I can show you how this works. And we'll talk about different setup options and some features that you can utilize. Now, after this, what I want to also mention is once you're done setting up your account, make sure that you take all the tips that I just covered, you implement them, and then schedule out 30 to 90 days worth of content. That way it's hands off and you can focus on what matters next in the 5th step, which is filling your funnel. So let's go ahead and pull this up. All right, here we are. So I wanted to pause the screen so you didn't see me like all clicking around. It was kind of boring, but here we are inside of Content Hero. And so what you're going to be able to do is first have 3 different tabs: Discovery, Publisher, and Reporting. So in Discovery, we're going to be able to find content to curate if we want. So if I come down here and I type in something like fitness over here, search, I'm going to be able to find fitness related articles, videos, and so much more. So let's go ahead and see if I can find a cool video. So if I go, hey, I only want video, search, now I only have videos. So here's a 30-minute old school hip hop grooves workout.
Hey people, today we're gonna groove it out with
Love it. So awesome stuff. And I can post that, I can share it, do whatever I want to do with it. From there, what I would suggest doing, let me go ahead and start saying, let's go ahead and set up our social accounts. So when you first get started with your account, we'll go through the tabs here in a little bit. But when you first get started with your account, what I would first do is connect all your social accounts as well as your websites. So I've connected some Facebook pages, Twitter accounts, LinkedIn, YouTube, Buffer, and then Google My Business. From there, you'll want to connect your websites like WordPress, Tumblr, Shopify. And then what I would also suggest doing is whatever your industry is in, I do marketing, so I will add a new topic. So watch this. So we'll go marketing. And you can also make this specific to your clients as well. So if I'm doing, work for a gym, then maybe I would put this as the name of the gym and then specify what types of content I want to show up in here. That way the client can come in here with me and decide which content they want posted. So we'll go ahead and we'll do 30 days and we'll do top 10% of content, save. All right, so watch this. Now that we've just done that, I'll come over here to that in a second. I can also move this up to here. We have draft categories. So let's say that I'm posting for a client and they want to review what is being posted before it gets posted. Attorneys, doctors, they're going to be very particular about what's posted on their page, so they're going to want to give feedback. So if you're doing social media management, this is a huge thing. You don't want to be posting content that they're not happy with, otherwise you lose a client. From here, you're also able to add data sources, which is super awesome. So if you go find a cool YouTube channel, you can add that. Here, I'll actually show you what you can add. So you can add YouTube, Vimeo, Pinterest, Facebook. As long as we can bring in the content that we can, you'll be able to find some cool stuff, as well as blog RSS feeds. You're going to be able to add that as well. So from here, what we're going to do is you've seen Discovery. Now let's go to Publisher. So for Publisher, let's go Social Post, and we will add my profile. Here we go. All right, so we got my profile, and we're going to add a video directly from my account here. So we'll do this one. So Josh, a good buddy of mine, he is one of my coaching students, just sent me an awesome testimonial, which I love. And let's check it out real quick.
Hey guys, Josh Jacobs here. I just want to make this quick video to give a shout out to Shane Brooks. This guy is incredibly knowledgeable. I just got off a 45-minute call with him and I got so much value out of it. I just want to say, if you are looking to learn from Shane, if you have the opportunity to learn from Shane, I'd highly encourage you to take action, absorb all the knowledge you can, and put it to action and watch it work. Thank you so much, Shane. I appreciate your time. And like I said, to anybody watching this, take action and you will not be disappointed.
Love it. That is like an awesome testimonial. Josh is a great guy, super smart, very successful at what he does. Now, what I would suggest doing, kind of side note here, is for your business, make sure you are collecting testimonials. I can't believe how many businesses don't collect testimonials. Video testimonials are probably one of the most powerful pieces of content, and you can see I'm doing it as well. I'll give you an example. I do social media management for a fertilizing company, and we did 3 things on their social media. We did before and after photos, brown grass, green grass, right? We did video testimonials like this. And then we also did Facebook Lives once or twice a week of him just going crazy talking about fertilizer, just because he's like super passionate about it. And in 1 year, he increased his revenue by 700%. And he didn't even do any paid advertising, which is awesome. But what he was doing is he was hustling hard, creating high quality content that his audience wants to see. All right, so from here, what I can simply do is, type the content. Wow, this is awesome. Obviously, I'd write something better than this. I don't want to waste your time though. So, wow, this is awesome. If I can spell correctly, that'd be great. Now, I can instant post this right here, or what I can do is, let's say that I was doing this for another business. Let's say that, I was doing it for Ava Center. What I can do is I can say, all right, Ava Center, I'm going to say you need approval. All right. And then I would add their sub user, and then they would have to go in and approve it by a certain deadline. And then they're going to get an email every single day to go in and review that post. So that way they're happy with it. And if they don't review it by the deadline, that's what they paid me for. I scheduled it. I did the work, but that was on them. They got an email every day and I'm not on the hook for it. So, and then finally, I can also just schedule the content. So I can schedule it by a certain date if I want to do that. So I don't have a blog connected at the moment to this account, but otherwise you would be able to see how awesome the blog posting feature is. Now that's not going to be a main, function of what we're speaking on today, but that is a capability that you will be able to use. So make sure to dive into that. And we have a really cool blog post creator. We can drag and drop content in there so you can speed create all of your articles that you would post to any website like WordPress or Tumblr, for example. Now you're also going to have a schedule. You're going to have all of your saved as draft options. You're going to have their automation options like article links to social media, articles to blog, evergreen, so much more. You're going to love this. Now from here, you'll also have reporting. And this is where you'll be able to see what type of content is being posted and at what times and at what frequency. So really important to do. And hopefully you found a lot of value in this. And the coolest thing is you're going to get all of this for free, which is great. So let me go ahead and jump back over to the training and finish this up for you guys. All right, here we are back in the presentation. So you're going to get that entire software for free. So make sure to email support@beahero.agency and you will get your free account. So from here, we need to talk about filling your funnel, getting that content out there, engaging with your audience, and bringing those people into your sales process. So general rules of engagement. Make sure that you're using interesting subject lines, use their first name, include their name and your company info. Make a connection, don't weigh your prospects down, and keep your request brief. All right, so engaging with your community. Responses to content. So if you post a really cool video and someone responds, make sure to take the time to say how much you appreciate it and maybe set a time to connect. Direct messages or in-mails that you get via LinkedIn, make sure you're replying to those and you're also sending those messages out to people that you connect with because you want to be consistently building your network. Each day, or maybe even setting one day a week where you go out there and you prospect potential customers based on your customer avatar that you created in step 1, going out there, connecting with them, and just keeping it super friendly. And then from there, collecting emails as well as commenting and engaging on other people's content. If somebody in your network, takes the time to create amazing content, make sure that you're engaging with it as a friendly user on the platform. So I wanted to give you, now this isn't complete as far as just giving you the training, giving you the tools, but I also want to give you scripts as well. So hopefully this is going to blow you away here. So the first one is going to be a generic template. So this could be like, hey, thank you for connecting. My team and I, this is more developed for agency owners, but you can tweak this however you like. Hi, business owner, thank you for connecting. My team and I have been very successful in helping plumbers connect with more customers outside of their usual area. My clients have seen a huge boost in sales as well as repeat and new business using my methods. Would you be interested in hearing more? I look forward to hearing from you, and then your name. Now, template number 2 is shared connections. I love this one. And you can keep these, more generic. You don't have to keep them so salesy, but I wanted to give you something that might push some better results initially right from the get-go. So, hi business owner. I noticed that we have quite a few shared connections. I have done work for an X person in the past. I was able to boost his sales by 40% in a short time, and I feel like I could do the same for you. I'm sure X person would be more than happy to talk to you about his experiences with my company if you ask. Let me know when you have a few minutes so we can see if there may not be a mutually beneficial opportunity here. And then thanks, your name. All right. And then finally, script number 3 is let's talk via phone. So, hi business owner. I hope you're doing well. When I work with freelance plumbers to help them grow their business, a lot of the times they tell me how frustrated they are when it comes to competing with larger plumbing businesses. In the past, I've had a lot of success by applying just a couple of unique tactics. Some plumbers have seen as much as 50% increase in their sales within just a couple of months. I would love to help you out as well. Do you have time for a quick phone call? I promise I won't take more than 30 minutes of your time. I await response, and then thanks, your name. So hopefully you guys got a lot of value out of this. I showed you from A to Z, step number 1 to step number 5, how to actually start growing your brand and filling your funnel to engage with your community by distributing content and engaging with your network and growing it. So don't miss out on getting your free account with Content Hero, so that way you can start distributing your content that you create, and so you can keep building your brand. Thank you guys so much. Once again, my name is Shane Brooks. I hope you all the best, and reach out if you need anything, and I'm going to be happy to help. See you guys.